Zimbabwe is a little country in southern Africa, bordered by South Africa, Mozambique, Zambia, and Botswana. And it's had a very tragic history over the last 100 years. We've had several civil wars and periods of political oppression. And in fact, in my entire lifetime, there have only been 2 prime ministers of my country, or presidents. And so it doesn't have a great history, and there's been a lot of political upheaval which continues to date. There were a lot of atrocities committed under the colonial era, which ended in 1980, but unfortunately, almost immediately after that, the new government committed further massacres, particularly in our part of the country, which is the western part of the country. And there were massacres in the early 80s. About between 10 and 20,000 people were massacred during that time. In an area with a fairly small geographical spread and a smallish population, so it was dramatic.
What is your work?
I've been a clinical psychologist by profession, and I've done a lot of work with torture victims for many years. But one of the things which I found was really needed in that work was what we called healing the dead. We found that one of the worst consequences of the massacres were the angry spirits, that were having a lot of consequences for the living. And so we began a process of exhuming in order to heal the dead and therefore to heal the living in the 1990s and the early 2000s. But we had to stop that because of a new outbreak of political oppression, a lot of torture, some murders and so on since then, which continues to date. But the reason I'm here at Mercyhurst is because I'm foreseeing that we're about to enter a more democratic space, that it will be possible for the exhumations to resume, and therefore I would like to have the skill base to drive those exhumations as we go forward.